Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, October 20, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Finland interested in Guyana's transformative agenda. High Court allows EXXONMOBIL to join case seeking to quash LIZA 1 permit. November 11 for argument in Ram's challenge over denial of local content certificate. CCJ says AG NANDLAL'S premature disclosure of its ruling inexcusable. National gas strategy will create new opportunities for Guyana, says Ali, and amid heavy criticisms, NIS staffers undergo customer service training. Now for the news in detail. As Guyana seeks to diversify its economy, the government of Finland has expressed its interest in the variety of areas that the People's Progressive Party Civic is aiming to transform. Let's have a look.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Wednesday met with a delegation led by Finland's ambassador to the Caribbean, Pertti Aikkonen, at State House. The head of state informed the visiting officials that Guyana is currently going through a period of intense growth. President Ali said his government intends to position Guyana as a top-tier country in a number of areas, including biological, environmental, and human resources services, technology and research and development, food security, health care, education, and renewable energy. These areas, he added, will be advanced under a low-carbon development strategy. Moreover, the Guyanese leader also indicated that the country is very interested in partnering with like-minded countries. Meanwhile, the Finnish ambassador congratulated the president and Guyana on keeping democratic order and said Guyana is a good global example for respecting democracies. He also praised President Ali and the PPPC government for its transformative agenda. According to the diplomat, the sectors that Guyana aims to transform are interesting to Finland. Ambassador Aikkonen was accredited as Finland's non-resident ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary to Guyana in September 2019. Guyana and Finland first established diplomatic ties in April 1977 and over the years shared bilateral cooperation in a number of areas. In fact, in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB), Finland earlier this year launched a €300,000 initiative to support teacher training on digital education and distance learning in 5 Caribbean countries, including Guyana. Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchand.
The High Court has ruled in favor of EXXONMOBIL through subsidiary ESSO Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, being granted leave to join a case brought by 2 Guyanese citizens against the Environmental Protection Agency regarding the oil company's exploration activities. Here are the details.
Guyanese Danuta Radzik and Sinika Henry had moved to the High Court seeking orders to quash EPA's decision to renew EXxonMobil's environmental permit for its LIZA Phase 1 operations. The applicants allege that the permit is unlawful as EXxonMobil Guyana had not done a new environmental impact assessment (EIA) before being granted the renewal of the permit. The applicants also seek an order closing the LIZA Phase 1 petroleum operations immediately. According to a case brief, the EPA's defense is that the law does not require a new EIA to be done, as one has already been done when the permit was originally issued. Despite the claimants seeking orders that would have a detrimental impact on EXxonMobil, the oil company was not named as a party in the case. As such, EXxonMobil had filed a notice of application to be added to the case, and arguments were heard on October 12. On October 17th, High Court Judge Damon Young ruled that EXxonMobil, as the holder of the permit and thus liable to suffer financial loss, should be added to the case as a party to the matter with sufficient interest. Back in May, the EPA had renewed the environmental permit for the LIZA Phase 1 project within the Stabroek Block for another period of 5 years. The permit strictly prohibits routine flaring and venting and specifies that flaring is only permissible during commissioning, startup, and special circumstances. ExxonMobil Guyana is being represented by attorneys Andrew Pollard, Edward Lacu, Eleanor Loku, and Ashley Henry. Meanwhile, Radzik and Henry are being represented by international lawyer and activist Melinda Janke and Abiola Wong Innes.
An application filed in the Demerara High Court by Rams Logistics Guyana seeking judicial review of the government's decision to deny the company a local content certificate will be heard on November 11 by Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George, SC. Find out more in this report.
Case management conference for the application, which was filed last month, was held on Thursday, during which Chief Justice Roxanne George fixed strict timelines by which the parties must file certain legal documents ahead of the November 11 hearing. In its application, Rams Logistics said that it is a Guyanese company, quote and unquote, and contends that the government's decision to refuse its application for a local content certificate is not only, quote, unlawful, unreasonable, and arbitrary, end of quote, but breached the Local Content Act of 2021. The company claimed that it satisfied all the necessary preconditions to be registered and is therefore seeking a court order compelling the government to issue the certificate and register it in the Local Content Secretariat. In a letter to Rams Logistics, the head of the Local Content Secretariat, Martin Pratab, had informed the company that among the reasons for the denial of the local content certificate was its failure to provide accurate information in compliance with Guyana's local content laws. Included in the reasons was Rams Logistics' submission of questionable documents which did not clearly state the amendments to incorporation and the failure to have its executive board of directors be 75% Guyanese. At a press conference, Rams Logistics Chief Executive Officer Sean Ramprasad had related that the company divested 51% ownership of its Guyana operations to Trinidad-based investor Deepak Lal, who has Guyanese parentage, to bring its operation in compliance with the local content laws. Guyana's Local Content Act defines a local company as one incorporated under the Companies Act and is beneficially owned by Guyanese nationals. Lal's grandfather and father are both Guyanese born but migrated in 1961, and the family now operates one of the largest oil and gas companies in the Caribbean out of Trinidad and Tobago. Bisham Mohammed, Evening News.
We now tell you that the Caribbean Court of Justice has reprimanded Attorney General Anil Nandlall after he prematurely disclosed a ruling from the regional court on the coalition opposition's second elections petition. Here's more.
In a statement on Thursday, the CCJ called the premature disclosure of its ruling by Attorney General Anil Nandlall inexcusable. The regional court explained that the practice of sending advanced copies of its judgments to lawyers on a case is to give them an opportunity not to relitigate the dispute, but to comment on errors in the draft. The CCJ said, quote, "The advanced copies are clearly marked confidential, and counsel are warned to treat with them in the strictest confidence, pending the delivery of the judgment. The court was extremely disappointed to learn that in a case in which the Attorney General of Guyana was a party, on the Attorney General's Facebook account, there was published before the formal delivery of the judgment the result of the litigation." End quote. In fact, this matter was raised during Wednesday's court setting. While it was noted that a full and unqualified apology over the unauthorized Facebook post, a reckless error on the part of a staffer, was made, the CCJ contended that the premature unauthorized disclosure of the result of the litigation is inexcusable. The CCJ said, quote, "It betrays the confidence of the court, and given the fact that it emanated from the Facebook account of the person holding the office of Attorney General, it serves to bring the entire administration of justice into disrepute." The Caribbean Court of Justice prides itself on the measures it takes to enhance its integrity, impartiality, and independence. End quote. Nevertheless, the regional court said it will continuously work to review this policy of issuing advanced copies of its judgments to attorneys. Meanwhile, AG NANDLAL'S, in a Facebook post on Wednesday, explained that while he was overseas on official government business, an administrator of his Facebook page made an unauthorized post disclosing some contents of the advanced confidential judgment. According to NANDLAL'S, as soon as the post was brought to his attention, it was removed.
Coming up, Mara to tighten operations at Kingston Wharf, and 56 affected from 29 fires so far this year in Berbice. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Stateowned Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Stateowned Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Cheryl, girl, you won't believe. Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. Da Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
Contractors, let the quality of your road constructions speak for themselves by investing in a walk-behind vibratory roller from Sylvie's. Apart from improving productivity, our roller provides better compaction for soil and asphalt. Designed with the ability to turn, this machine also offers great flexibility for precise work near walls and sidewalks. Order it now before it's gone at sylviesonline.com or at our 31 High and Hatfield Street store.
The writers of this program are depending on my ethnic but non-threatening voice to explain things they are too lazy to set up traditionally. Only 2 months into the semester.
Marcus, I was watching that. What's the matter with you?
Noreen, why you have all these things plugged in, man? You really don't check them bills, you know? You know the cost of electricity?
Marcus, you can't be so ridiculous. That's the fridge. Why would you unplug the fridge?
I don't understand why the cost of electricity is so high in this country, man. Somebody has to do something.
Marcus, you know what I realize? Something is really wrong with you. How are we supposed to live without electricity?
Hello, just like our ancestors survived back in the days.
I will have you know, Marcus, Noreen Angela Melville is not cut out for that type of life.
And already the 9th Ivy League's quads buzz with future Olympians and presidents.
Did you know the Gas to Energy project is expected to reduce the cost of electricity by up to 50%? Yes, that project will slash electricity bills in half. This will also unleash a tsunami of benefits for the manufacturing sector in Guyana.
Wow. Marcus, did you hear that? Electricity will be cheaper. Now, Marcus, for the love of God, plug the fridge back in.
For the admissions brochure.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. Following the recent damage the Demerara Harbor Bridge had sustained after being rammed by a vessel, which had caused management to impose some restrictions on weight traversing the structure, the Maritime Administration Department, MARAD, has made a decision to overlook operators at the state-owned Kingston Wharf, where barge operators have been loading and offloading cargo. Luana McAllister has the details.
Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Angel on Tuesday met with operators at the Kingston Wharf after receiving reports that persons were refusing to allow other operators to anchor their vessels there.
American streamline that now, how long you got for loading and all the rest of it. We can streamline that. We can streamline that. Because if you're ready for load, don't bring 2 drum and then 5-6 barrel after when you got to hold, get your stuff together so you can load and move and make place for the people to facilitate.
While he commended persons for investments made in the area, he stressed that they by no means own the facility.
But nobody should interpret to me because I make some investment, or I put on a pile, or I put on some boulders, or I fix the place, I now own the place. This is still a place that we are leaving open because smaller contractors must be able to bring in their barges here, and I know a number of smaller people have also come in from time to time, right? And it's going to get busier.
Consequently, a list of guidelines will be provided which operators must adhere to when utilizing the state-owned wharf. The minister told the operators that the government is serious about development in the country and there should not be conflicts and contention among others. Luana McAllister, The Evening News.
Gerald Bryan joins us now to report that work is ongoing on a national gas strategy that, according to President Dr. Irfaan Ali, will open up new opportunities for trade and energy security between Guyana and its bilateral partners. Here's more.
On Tuesday, President Dr. Irfaan Ali, in a joint press conference with British High Commissioner to Guyana, Jane Miller, spoke about opportunities for trade. Noting the importance of energy security, the President said that the national gas strategy being worked on will open up new opportunities for trade.
We also have some natural gas field. We have not completed the national gas strategy. But in that strategy, more opportunities will be opened up. And I had specific discussion with Prime Minister Boris on how we can integrate and to encourage the UK government and private sector to be part of the energy transformation for Guyana.
Added to this are Guyana's oil blocks, some of which will go on auction very soon. According to President Ali, blocks have been set aside for government-to-government partnership.
The oil and gas sector would definitely be part of that government-to-government relationship. And the specific discussion I had with Prime Minister Boris is in relation to energy security for the UK. And as you know, we have some blocks that we're going to auction off. I think very soon we're going to move to the auctioning of some blocks. And we have some blocks that are set aside for what is termed government-to-government partnership. And we are looking at all our strategic partners with these blocks.
At present, a gas ashore project is being pursued that will utilize 50 million cubic feet per day of gas and transport it through pipelines to the Wales Development Zone. The government is aiming to deliver gas by the end of 2024 for a power plant, while the NGL facility is slated to be online by 2025. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
In light of a myriad of criticisms levied against the National Insurance Scheme in relation to services, staffers on Thursday underwent customer service and care training to remedy these issues. More in this Rupa Sinarayan report.
This training was mandated by Senior Minister with Responsibility for Finance, Dr. Rashni Singh, in an effort to enhance customer service delivery to the public. General Manager of the NIS, Holly Graves, told employees that as frontline workers at the institution, they have a responsibility to execute their respective duties properly and effectively.
Because of the heavy criticism with the National Insurance Scheme with customer service, you are the frontline workers, and you are the ones who have to make the effort to bring about this change. not only on customer service but customer care. There's a difference between customer service and customer care. And it's the care for the customer, not just serving them with a smile and having them come before you 2 and 3 times to the same problem. You have to show the care by looking and making sure that when they appear before you the first time, you make sure that the documents are checked properly and so that the claims and the benefits could be processed on time and they don't have to return just to be correcting queries.
Director of NIS Jillian Burton Persad noted that from outreaches to various communities, they were made aware of recurring challenges affecting persons. For the most, contributors and other stakeholders were dissatisfied with the level of service at some point in time.
There were a lot of criticisms being thrown out at the NIS. Persons, contributors, employers were all dissatisfied at some point in time with the service that they were given. And we as a team felt that it was on our shoulders a responsibility lie to ensure that we have these situations corrected. Where the NIS is concerned, the board of directors, we decided that we were not just going to sit every month, look at reports, pronounce on it, and make decisions just like that. But we were going to work with the entire organization as a team.
The training was facilitated by Head of the Diaspora Unit, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Rosalinda Rasul, who noted that these complaints have been extended to Guyanese living abroad.
We have been receiving a lot of complaints from Guyanese all across the globe about no less than NIS, of all the people. Earlier this year, we were at the consulate in New York, and there were about 15 to 20 persons in the consulate for some business or the other. And we decided to gauge them and to find out, what's your issue? Are you getting through? And when we asked them what their issue was, all of them, and this is not an exaggeration, all of them had issues with NIS.
The NIS management is foreseeing a turnaround in their customer care following this activity. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us now to report on fire statistics so far for the year in Region 6, which shows that more than 36 persons have been affected by these infernos. Here are the details.
56 persons were made homeless so far this year in Berbice as a result of fires. There were 29 fires, 4 of which were to government buildings. Of the 29 fires recorded, 18 buildings were destroyed. Additionally, 2 were severely damaged and 9 slightly damaged from those fires. Divisional Fire Officer Clive MacDonald says those range from electrical to malicious and deliberate, among others. Meanwhile, the division has so far responded to 217 calls in relation to fires. Of that number, 44 were malicious false alarm calls. MacDonald noted that authorities will move to prosecute persons who maliciously call the fire service. Meanwhile, in observance of Fire Prevention Week, MacDonald is advising persons to be careful when purchasing electrical equipment.
Whenever you buy those electrical strips and so forth, we can advise you buy it the one that is recommended by the National Bureau of Statistics. He will advise you on how you to go about buying your stuff.
Among the activities planned are sensitization and awareness outreaches to businesses and government agencies, including schools. Also, MacDonald had indicated that 30 water hydrants will be coming to Region 6 and will be distributed across the quarantine. On Thursday, the first one was installed at Rose Hall Town, making it the first time a water hydrant is in that town. Meanwhile, a fire safety workshop was also hosted for media personnel in Berbice.
Prevention basically is every day and is everybody's business. And throughout this, for the past 2 weeks, we're doing a lot of sensitization in fire prevention and safety. We're visiting schools and other government agencies and entities. And having the media on board to sensitize them on fire prevention and safety, because we know a lot of times you guys, you go a lot of places and do coverage, and by you having this knowledge as members of the media, by extension as an individual, it will be very helpful.
Outside of Region 4, or should I say Georgetown, the biggest media contingent is in Region 6. From the New Amsterdam Town Hall, for Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, October 21st at 3:30 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, October 21st at 14:10 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
Franchise cricket still on the cards to complement Intercounty, says GCB President, and race on for GUYANA'S League title. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
With unlimited games to choose from, you can be a winner with Superbet. Choose from our virtual sports, live betting, sports betting, live roulette, and much, much more. Place your bets at www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 18 and over. Play responsibly.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Cheryl, girl, you want me? Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. De Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
We call... At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.